Who is the strongest Saiyan right now as of the end of the Dragon Ball Super superhero arc, the latest arc that has happened in Dragon Ball Super the manga? I made this a poll on my community tab and thousands of people voted, and people were very split on who is the strongest Saiyan. We are going to discuss that in this chat. However, a little bit of a rant. What you need to understand is Goku is the greatest. Goku is the motherfucking greatest. Facts. Not even just in DB. Arguably amongst most of fiction, to be brutally honest, but sticking to just DB, whilst these other Saiyans certainly get stronger, it's because of Goku. It's Goku's influence on them that encourages them to keep breaking their own limits, because they witness Goku breaking his limits time and time again, because he has that natural innate desire to better himself. However, some Gokuists misunderstand this story completely. Goku also uses these people around him in order to see levels that he could achieve and use the very realistic fact that if they can get there, he can get there too. It's not just a one-way system. Goku is also inspired by them. Even though Goku's the central figure and is the catalyst for their growth, they do sometimes overtake him in terms of raw power and sometimes some martial arts skills and abilities. So the idea that Goku is just the strongest after every single arc, despite what we've seen in this series from the beginning of Dragon Ball all the way up to the end of Dragon Ball Super, and even GT for that matter, Goku does get surpassed. He needs to be surpassed because that's the catalyst for him to then go on to become stronger and break his limits, and usually goes further than the others, which ultimately inspires them. It's a cycle. Goku is the motherfucking greatest, but he's not always the strongest. He's not always the best. He does get surpassed, but you can bet your bottom dollar on it that if he is surpassed, Goku is the one that will find a way to break his limits and surpass all the others again. That is Goku for you. That is why he is the greatest. We don't need to keep making bizarre excuses for the fact that he's been surpassed, like, oh, he's lying this whole time. He needs to be surpassed for his character to continue to grow. It's essential for him. Ultimately, this game is rigged. This is Goku's story. He will end up the strongest. Just like at the end of Dragon Ball GT, he was the strongest. Coming into Dragon Ball Super, Goku will be the motherfucking strongest and the motherfucking greatest. But in that journey to that point, he will be surpassed many times and has been surpassed many times. But at this point in time, who is the strongest Saiyan as of the end of the Dragon Ball Superhero arc? Well, there's four main contenders. Of course, there's Goku with his calm Ultra Instinct form that we saw on Beerus' planet when training with Gohan. There's Gohan with his new Gohan Beast form. Vegeta has his Ultra Ego form, which is an Ultra transformation and uses a higher form of God Ki, just like Ultra Instinct does. And then of course, there's that legendary freak Super Saiyan, Broly. So guys, I apologise for the rant, but ultimately, it really winds me up when people think that this cannot even be a discussion. They just force Goku as the strongest right in your face, even though the story is clearly indicating otherwise at some point. Does that mean that Goku isn't the strongest right now? Well, I'll give my opinion at the end of this video. But this discussion now isn't just about who has the most raw power. It's moved on from that. That was more of a Z thing, really. In Super, it actually has become a bit more nuanced than that. So I'm going to go over all four characters and what they offer and how they could be the strongest. Then I'll give my viewpoint. And of course, you must comment down below on your viewpoint, because it isn't set in stone, it is subjective, that you can go for levels of objectivity of course, but you must contribute to the dialectic down below in the comment section. So we'll start off with Goku. So we know that Goku in his base form is pretty much on par with base Vegeta. Obviously he can stack all of his Super Saiyan transformations, the golden haired Super Saiyan state, Super Saiyan God, Super Saiyan Blue. He's got Blue Kaioken, which is really just using Super Saiyan Blue with a technique. It's probably not as potent as it is in the anime. It's not 20 times, at least I don't think so. Let me know your thoughts on that. Then he can stack Ultra Instinct Saiyan and complete Ultra Instinct on top. Goku is extremely strong. His Ultra Instinct transformation, however, seems to have a few issues at the moment, and that is the fact that he isn't an angelic life form, so he cannot hold on to it naturally. His Ultra Instinct, to be at its most potent, has to be a transformation currently, and even when he does manage to transform into it, he has to remain and have a calm heart, a tranquil heart. Now, the reason he can transform into Silver-Haired Ultra Instinct is because he can find tranquility in his mind. but for it to ultimately be as effective as possible and for him to fully gain from the hacks you get with Ultra Instinct, it's got to have a tranquil heart and a tranquil mind. It's got to be complete tranquility, leading to his complete Ultra Instinct form, which, as we saw against Morrow, okay, he can literally blitz someone and break their arm without you even noticing. But is that just simply due to raw power? Not necessarily. Goku can exploit openings with Ultra Instinct. It's basically a hacks ability that comes along with the form. It's not just a raw power multiplier like the original Super Saiyan forms. It offers extra. Goku has speed hacks, dodge hacks. His speed naturally is a lot faster than if he just had a regular multiplier form that was, say, equivalent to an Ultra Instinct, just without all the hacks abilities you get with Ultra Instinct. It gives him extra speed advantages. As we saw in the Granola arc, base Goku in terms of speed wasn't that far off of Super Saiyan Vegeta. Whilst he was a bit slower, still, it certainly wasn't a 50 times difference. It gives speed hacks. He also has dodge hacks, his body naturally dodges potential harm, and also lands critical hit hacks. It naturally lands the best possible shot in order to, I guess, protect himself as well. Offense is the best defense. I'm sure you've heard that in many different sports that you may follow. Boxing, football, soccer, basketball. It's true in almost every sport, just like it's true in martial arts. But those hacks, on top of his natural raw power reserves, is insanely good. Goku as a martial artist is brilliant, and if a character has the same amount of raw power as Goku has while Goku's using a calm-hearted Ultra Instinct, Goku is certainly winning, without a doubt. Not only does he have all those hacks, Goku's Ultra Instinct, when he has a calm, tranquil heart and mind, can get sturdier as the fight goes along, and his moves become sharper and sharper. However, he does seem to have one negative, and that's his accuracy drops should he not retain a calm heart. So it depends on what type of state Goku's in, and is the enemy or opposition that he's facing can affect whether he can retain a calm heart or not. For example, he couldn't retain that calm heart against Gas, but he could likely retain that calm heart against Gohan on Beerus' planet. Moving on to the Prince of all Saiyans, Vegeta. Vegeta, very much like Goku in terms of base forms, he's practically on par with Goku. I know he slightly won in Superhero, and I'm saying this is a Vegetard. It was barely. Okay, I don't think there's that much difference, and if anything, given that Vegeta did efficiency training and it was noticed by Beerus that his moves have changed, you could put it down to the fact that Vegeta now has a better efficiency than Goku, so maybe Goku might have slightly more raw power. Let me know your thoughts on that down in the comment section. However, his Ultra Ego form has been proven in the Granola arc to be on par with Goku's Silverhead Ultra Instinct state, if not stronger than it. His Ultra Ego performed vastly better against Granola than Goku's Ultra Instinct did. Goku's Ultra Instinct form was basically one-shotted by Granola, whereas Vegeta's Ultra Ego basically forced Granola to have to find a new power-up. He was fondling Granola until Granola unlocked that second eye of his. Of course, Ultra Ego, just like Ultra Instinct, comes with its own hacks abilities, very different from Ultra Instinct, more suiting Vegeta as a fighter, even though it definitely has some drawbacks. Vegeta with Ultra Ego, if he takes damage, he gets stronger. His power actually grows when he takes damage, likely because it's causing him to want to destroy his opponent even more. Once again, this is about state of mind, and Vegeta needs to be in a state of mind of destruction, as stated by Beerus. His destructive mind needs to grow and grow and grow. In order for that to happen, he's got to want to destroy his opponent, and if they're hitting him or hurting him, that state of mind is only going to increase. However, he's basically a punch bag in this mode, so if he takes too much damage, he starts to capitulate. His body can only handle so much damage. I guess just like Goku's toll with Ultra Instinct, Vegeta has a toll in terms of damage he can take with Ultra Ego. Of course, he can also only grow at a certain rate as well, but he does get stronger. This form certainly suits a battle of attrition, where the longer the battle goes on, if the damage isn't too severe, Vegeta will continuously get stronger and likely surpass his opponent in battle. Once again, if you're at the same power level as Ultra Ego Vegeta and you're hitting Ultra Ego Vegeta, within moments, Vegeta's going to be stronger than you. However, if you're stronger than Vegeta and you hit Vegeta hard and consistently hard, Vegeta is fucked. For example, Black Frieza basically took out Ultra Ego Vegeta straight away. He took him out quickly. If Black Frieza perhaps just decided to toy with Vegeta and kept hurting and beating him up but not doing significant damage. Whilst that gap may be too big because we don't know Black Frieza's full power at the moment, Vegeta at least would have closed that gap on Black Frieza. Onto that genetic Saiyan mutant demonic freak, Broly, the legendary Super Saiyan. Now Broly at the end of the superhero arc can only tap into a regular Super Saiyan form, so a 50 times multiplier. We know Broly in his base is somewhat of a match for Super Saiyan Vegeta, if not slightly stronger. Stacking Super Saiyan, of course, will make him 50 times stronger than what he was, at least in this current controlled Super Saiyan. We know Broly has different variations of Super Saiyan that likely go far beyond this. As a Super Saiyan, he was competing with Gohan Beast. I'll get onto that battle with Gohan Beast in a moment when I get to my conclusion on all of these fighters. However, Broly doesn't have any hacks abilities with this Super Saiyan form. In fact, you could argue that Broly's Super Saiyan form as it is right now isn't even a Super Saiyan grade 4 Super Saiyan form. Gohan's got much better control over his Gohan Beast form than Broly has over his Super Saiyan form. Broly has only just learned to tap into Super Saiyan at will with some degree of control. Given it took Goku, Gohan, Vegeta and the rest of the gang, who are much more experienced and better fighters than Broly, at least in terms of being martial artists, it will likely take Broly a bit more time as well. So there's that to consider. There are no hacks abilities for Broly. With his enraged state, of course, Broly grows in battle, or at least did so in the movie, and you would assume that he would be able to do that now. But the latest version of Broly that we've seen is a controlled Super Saiyan Broly, and ultimately he isn't in that enraged state, and he didn't show any signs of growth in his sparring match with Gohan. Then, of course, there's Gohan Beast. Gohan Beast sparred with Goku, and sure, both of them are sparring, both of them are not trying to kill each other, but they are both taking it seriously and testing out each other's power. In terms of raw power, in a contest of brute strength, Gohan, in his full extent mode, because he has two variations of Gohan Beast, he has the regular state of Gohan Beast, and then he has the full extent mode of Gohan Beast. In a contest of power, he overpowers Goku. In fact, his speed is so high with the multiplier of his full extent form, as well as his striking ability, that he actually knocks Goku out of Ultra Instinct. Only a few characters have ever achieved that, especially in one hit. Now you might say that fight had many attempted hits before that, however when he got to the pinnacle of his power, and I accept that Gohan may have been at the pinnacle of his power to do it, then he did manage to knock Goku out of his form in one shot. In terms of raw power, Gohan has the advantage. However, earlier in that fight when he was using the regular state of Gohan Beast, we saw that Ultra Instinct Goku and Gohan Beast were similar in terms of power. However, Goku was getting the advantage over Gohan due to the skills and abilities and the hacks of Ultra Instinct. As per Vegeta commented on this. Gohan's Beast form, however, doesn't really seem to come with any hacks abilities that we know of. Of course, like I said, there are two modes. There's somewhat of a regular Gohan Beast mode, and then there's the full extent mode where he allows his ki to go to its absolute maximum, but he finds a way to control it. Obviously this form's still in its infancy really, it only came about in the last arc, so we may find out more about it and hopefully more about Orange Piccolo's form, especially now we know he's a demon, or at least from demon lineage in the future. Back to the Saiyans. Gohan really has a raw power form that he can make escalate at will and control that power when he escalates it. It doesn't have all the hacks abilities and martial arts nuances that Goku's Ultra Instinct form does, or the hacks abilities that Ultra Ego does. But in terms of sheer raw power reserves, Gohan, right now, is stronger than Goku and Vegeta. Broly is a more interesting one. At a low ball, he's somewhat on par with Gohan Beast in his normal state. Once again, he has no hacks abilities. So in Gohan's regular Beast form state, he was on par with Ultra Instinct Goku and Super Saiyan Broly. So they're likely on par, at least in terms of a low ball. However, Broly did ask Gohan to show him that Beast mode that he used against Goku in order to help him achieve Super Saiyan. So he may have asked for Gohan at his full power, and Gohan may have gone into his full extent Beast mode. But that's more of an unconfirmed highball really. Of course, Broly potentially could stack Super Saiyan full power, or as some people call it, the legendary Super Saiyan state, on top of that, but he would likely have to go in a rage and would lose most of his martial arts abilities. But in terms of sheer raw power, he would likely vastly surpass Gohan and be way above Goku and Vegeta's Ultra forms in that type of state. As we saw in the Broly movie, with Broly's regular Super Saiyan state in that movie, he went from Super Saiyan Gogeta levels to somewhere between God and Blue Gogeta levels in the movie. So it's a pretty damn big multiplier over the regular Super Saiyan. But some people would argue that he doesn't necessarily have that in the manga, and that's definitely a reasonable argument to make until we see it, until it's confirmed. It's a hypothetical, but there is that highball or extra hypothetical highball for Broly. So to conclude, in terms of raw power, right now, as of the superhero arc, Gohan is the strongest. If you lowball Broly, in terms of raw power, he's likely on par with Goku and Vegeta right now, as Goku and Vegeta are likely on par in terms of raw power, given what we know about Ultra Ego being somewhat on par with Silverhead Ultra Instinct in the Granola arc in terms of a raw power multiplier. Obviously, those two forms have different hacks abilities from each other, which give them certain advantages in a battle. I've said before, Vegeta's Ultra Ego is all wrong for Goku's Ultra Instinct, because if they're similar levels of power, Goku would be hitting Vegeta, but only making him stronger and not doing enough damage to ultimately put Ultra Ego Vegeta down. However, Goku's Ultra Instinct would likely be better against somebody like Gohan, who's stronger than them, because his extra speed hacks allow him to dodge Gohan's moves, whereas Vegeta is going to get beat to a pulp. Whereas Broly is just a noob as a warrior at this point, and would quite frankly, if his power doesn't rise through any various means, would get beaten by all of them, given his lack of control over this, what is likely a Super Saiyan Grade 1 form. However, if Broly snaps and goes into Super Saiyan full power, they're fucked. Also, Broly will likely have Super Saiyan 2, potentially Super Saiyan 3, who knows, maybe even Super Saiyan God coming down the line, especially now he's training on Beerus' planet. But guys, back to the rant at the beginning of the video. Right now, Gohan is the strongest in terms of raw power. Goku, with his hacks abilities, I think could somewhat compete with him, but he would have to fight the right fight, and hopefully Gohan would burn out of power and Goku could use his exploitation of openings and critical hit hacks to put Gohan down somehow. But if he tries to clash with Gohan in terms of raw power, he's coming off worse. Goku's Ultra Instinct right now isn't a good fight against Ultra Ego, because he doesn't have a raw power advantage great enough to put Ultra Ego Vegeta down. However, Gohan is likely too strong and would likely put Vegeta's lights out quite quickly. But if Gohan messes around, he's only going to make Vegeta stronger and Vegeta would close that gap. Like I said, it's become very nuanced. Goku isn't always the strongest. This situation now is going to show Goku at his greatest, because when all these characters lose inevitably against the next antagonist, it will be the motherfucking greatest Goku who finds a way to break his limits and get to the next level. And in turn, if there's any arcs beyond that, they will use Goku's breaking of his walls to continuously chase after him and attain new levels of power. That's all I've got to say about that. Smash a like on the video if you agree. If you disagree, let me know your reasons down in the comment section. I'm looking forward to reading them. Contribute to the dialectic. Subscribe if you're new to these ends. It's a great time to be a Dragon Ball fan right now. Until next time, Ad Astra.